and welcome back to my channel. Before we jump into my series of videos, I'd like to run the same intro that I'm going to run in every video that I do this week. If you are one of the people that put trans rights or human rights all up and down my YouTube, thank you. If you came from TikTok and you followed that video from TikTok and you listened and you said, hey, they're being gross and ugh, the super straights are being gross, thank you. Please continue. If you want to catch my attention, nothing will catch it faster than saying trans rights are human rights and Black Lives Matter all up and down my page. I will love you eternally for it. So if that's you, I heart you. Everything about you, I heart. On this episode of I'm Dyslexic, so we do video responses to comments that annoy me, we have Joey Diaz, and we have Dr. Seuss is canceled. The company that owns his books canceled him. That's cancel culture. And Republicans do not play identity politics. You don't seem to understand what those things are. I don't think you do, but we're gonna keep reading. Tell me you don't. This is my comment back. Tell me you don't understand how capitalism works without telling me you don't understand how capitalism works. Given the effect that literally nobody asked for those books to be canceled, a private company chose to do so. You know what a private company doing what they want with their own material? And Republicans only know how to play identity politics. I still remember when Republicans tried to ban A Clockwork Orange, Harry Potter in 1984. We're going to end this with a list of things Republicans have tried to ban since I've been alive that I can remember off the top of my head. There's a list. It's fun. We're going to do it at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Cancel culture has nothing to do with capitalism. It's simply about canceling someone or something for the little things they say or do, whether or not it's a private company is irrelevant and they were pressured into it. Furthermore, identity politics is about treating people a certain way based on their identity. Affirmative action is a good example of that. Actually, affirmative action is not a good example of that. Affirmative action was put in place to benefit people who, weren't being treated equally. We wouldn't need affirmative action if you actually treated people equally and you didn't, throw their applications in the trash because they have an ethnic name, or tell them that they can't wear their hair a certain way because it's not Eurocentric and their natural hair isn't what you would consider professional, because, we've had to make laws that allow Black women to wear their hair as it is because companies have tried to fire them for it. And Republicans have bitched about the fact that they don't like their hair, which is really rude. But affirmative action actually doesn't benefit Black people as much as you think. If you actually look up who affirmative action benefits the most, it's white women. So, no. And then I made laughy faces because, you were annoying me at that point by being stupid. I don't feel like arguing with a moron, so peace, deuces, bounce. But this is where you seem to demand my attention. You wanted my attention, baby, now you got it. So you said, do you have any kind of response, or are you just a typical liberal going to shrivel up? Baby, you ain't never met a typical liberal like me. I don't shrivel, I don't back down, and I sure as hell don't take demands from little boys with tiny who seem to think that they can make demands of me. I'm making this video of my own volition to explain to the rest of the wide world what identity politics is, and also just a little bit to be a little bit petty. Because you demanded my attention, and well, here it is. You've got it. It's right here. Someone actually gave you the definition of identity politics. This actually happens to be a personal friend of mine. I know who they are, and I love them to death for this because they literally spell it out for you. So we're going to read it, and then we're going to show. Identity politics, or the definition of identity politics, is a term that describes a political approach wherein people in a particular race, religion, social background, class, identifying feature develop political agendas and organized based upon the interlocking systems of oppression that affects their lives and comes to their voracious identities. That's all you guys do. And she is correct. She is very correct in that assumption, and I'm going to just give you a small list. Confederate flags, Confederate statues, kneeling, forcing people to try to stand for the flag. These are all identity politics in which y'all have rallied around. Cancel culture, everyone's out to get you, is an identity politic that you have all rallied around. Name me one policy that y'all like from the Republican Party, an actual policy that isn't based in religion, that isn't based in the white ethno-state, that isn't based in male oppression and oppressing females. Name me one policy that y'all actually like. You can't, because I guarantee you don't know the policies that are being pumped out by the Republican Party. I guarantee you've not, again, I can't believe I have to keep forcing this in, the Senate.gov, the House.gov, and the WhiteHouse.gov will give you every policy, every executive order, every bill, and who votes on them, and you can look them up for yourselves. So please do that. And then you go on to tell them that that's not what the definition is, and that's literally the definition. I looked it up before doing the video. But again, let's go into what identity politics the Republicans have pulled in just the past couple of days. Let's also go into cancel culture itself. Cancel culture is the very definition of capitalism. Because if I don't like something that a company is doing and I prefer not to spend my money there, the company then changes because they want money and the company makes the choice. That is capitalism 101. My money supplies the business, they supply the product. If I stop supplying the money, they change how they do products. That's exactly what Dr. Seuss did. Even though no one asked them, literally if you ask any liberal, they're going to tell you, we have no idea where Dr. Seuss, where this came out of left field for most of us. Most of us hadn't even thought of it. We hadn't thought about those books since our childhood. Except for the Mulberry Street one, I don't even know those books. Neither did most of the people that I asked. But the company knew, for good publicity's sake, and for getting y'all to buy up those books like they're going out of style, make this change, get a few political points on our side, and get y'all morons to buy up all the books. And that's exactly what they did. Prime example of capitalism. Same thing with Mr. Potato Head. People are buying Mr. Potato Head, and he's back all over the news, and it's free advertising simply because they changed their box to Potato Head. Not the actual, like, the brand, not the actual potatoes themselves. They're still coming Mr. and Mrs. You still buy Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head, just the brand is now Potato Head. Which, again, nobody asked for, or even considered. Y'all are crying about something we didn't ask for. We would prefer that, you just stop trying to take minority voting rights away. We don't care about a potato. No one's cared about a potato. But again, you call that identity politics. So let's list the things in the past, I'd say 10 years that I can just remember y'all trying to cancel. 1984, A Clockwork Orange. Harry Potter my entire childhood, most of my adulthood. I literally remember people asking me when they were coming out from church if they could have my copies of the book to burn it because it was Satan-like. Rap music, pop music, most modern day music, Christians and the right have tried to cancel. Sex ed, Colin Kaepernick, freedom of speech, so that we can, kneel for the flag. What else? Nike, y'all canceled Nike. Y'all canceled Coke recently. Y'all canceled Harley Davidson on Trump's orders. The list goes on and on. That is identity politics. When y'all rally together and y'all try to cancel something, again, we didn't ask for these things to be canceled. Mr. Potato Head, Dr. Seuss, no one asked for that. But y'all actually tried to get the federal government to ban books. 1984, Harry Potter, A Clockwork Orange, Catcher in the Rye. I remember Republicans when I was a kid rallying to get those books pulled from school libraries and keep them out of public libraries because they didn't want kids reading them. That is identity politics. Wanting people to be treated equally is not identity politics. Y'all are the ones that rage around in cancel culture. There's a wasp. There's a wasp. Sorry guys, there's a wasp flying around my room. That is cancel culture. I know you're going to say that I didn't define it well enough and you're going to do whatever. But again, wanting equality, not cancel culture. Trying to rally around flags, monuments, books, while not knowing actual policy is identity politics. When is the last time a Republican spoke on actual issues like healthcare, the economy, women's rights, voting rights? When did they actually speak on it and creating policies? Mitch McConnell single-handedly killed most bills going into the Senate. It was literally the least productive Senate in history because he refused to do anything because he knew that he could rely on just being like, they're trying to take our stuff. That's identity politics, and you're falling for it. All right, guys, I will see y'all later.